it's the most ambitious launch inside of the most ambitious year that we've ever had for this game. And so like, if there is ever a moment to sit up and pay attention to Overwatch, or to give it a second try or try it for the first time, now is that moment. Yeah, there's a lot to this release, and a lot even like besides the 5 heroes that we're releasing. But I get it, the 5 heroes are kind of like one of the things that are going to drive a lot of excitement here. And it's more than just how they're balanced, you know, it is how they all kind of fit together in the game. So the first thing to mention is we have a full team composition for these 5 heroes. So there's 1 tank, 2 TPS, and 2 support. So it's really exciting. You can jump into your first game of Overwatch and have an entirely new team that's there, or be fighting against an entirely different team. And when you jump into the game like that, it feels so exciting, you know, to have that. It can be a little chaotic because you're not used to what any of these heroes do, you know? So for us, we've been playing these heroes for a long time now. Some of them for over 6 months, you know, just because of the way that we've been developing them. And I think that our team, we have gotten good at balancing heroes, but when you are releasing 5 all at one time, I think that like very quickly the community is going to start discovering whether something is either overpowered or underpowered. And so we run a lot of different metrics on the game for all the heroes, or win rates, amount of damage they do, how often they die, you know, and a lot of other things like that. So we're really committed to kind of like watching this launch closely, following up as best we can, and continually like tuning these heroes over the course of this season. I'm not supposed to have a favorite hero as game director, but I'll talk about this a little bit. I love Emre's weapon. The assault rifle, the battle rifle, I think it feels really, really good. And Overwatch, it's a first-person shooter. Like this is sort of like table stakes, is to have weapons that feel good. I think his is way above that. It's just like, just pulling the trigger on it feels right, and then being able to use it in aim down sights while you're still able to move at full speed feels really, really nice. Jetpack Cat, I think as far as just like characters go, it's like the most adorable thing I've seen in a game in a long time. You know, like the quick melee, just swiping, the way she kind of meows when she jet boosts and stuff like that. It's like, it's pretty heartwarming to watch that. So like, I think there's a different part of each of these heroes that I could attach to and love. So I guess I'm not really ready to commit to a favorite. Jetpack Cat was controversial internally, you know, as to whether as to whether this was the right moment to release the cat. And I think like the thing that like really put it over the top for us is that like Overwatch, we've always said it's heroes from the very start when we announced the game. We've said its heroes are a collection of soldiers, scientists, and oddities. And it has been a really long time since we've made, I think, what a lot of people would consider an oddity. And we wanted as part of this release and as part of this year, as you look at the whole lineup of heroes, we wanted to invoke a lot of those same feelings that people had when they first saw the game announced with the 14 heroes that we showed at BlizzCon 2014. We wanted to have sort of like that same sense of wonder and to get lost in that image, and to also recognize that like Overwatch is a universe where almost anything is possible, and having Jetpack Cat as part of that lineup image, I think like really says a lot about what's possible in our universe. It's intentionally, at least as far as I know, not based off of a real cat. What we did is we we basically scoured for images of like the most adorable cats that we could find. So like, I think Jetpack Cat is like the amalgamation of as many cute cat characteristics as we could cram into one hero. This release, season 1, it is supposed to hit every part of the game, you know? So it's like we're telling this new annual story. We've been talking about the 5 new heroes that we have. We also wanted to hit the gameplay system. And I think it was 2 years ago where we introduced some different passives to a lot of the different roles in the game. And one of the pieces of feedback that we've gotten from players is that some of the passives that we have on our roles, it might not be useful for every hero in that role. And so we took that feedback and we started ideating on it. And this system is now about finding a passive that really reinforces and augments a particular play style. And so when you look at some of the sub-role passives, like the flanker passive, it gives heroes additional health by picking up a health pack. That's on like Tracer, let's say. Tracer's always moving around the map. She's always able to get, not always, but she has a high chance of being able to get to a health pack, especially some of these small ones, which most of the time is now just gonna heal her to full health. And so what we wanted was, we wanted these new passives to add this additional layer of depth to the game by basically augmenting the way that certain heroes played. So if you are going up against that Tracer as another, as an enemy, as a different hero, it's something that you have to start tracking and something that you need to start thinking about. And when you spread that across the whole roster, there's this additional sort of like layer of mastery now that people are gonna have to go through in order to get really good at the game. This is really a system for our core players, our engaged players. I think something like this isn't going to be the first thing that you notice when you jump into Overwatch. Like, as a new player, the game can be kind of overwhelming. You know, it's a demanding game. So like, really, for a new player, it's about finding that hero that you click with. But one of the things that we've heard in the past from some of our players was that Overwatch felt soft, right? That they've played it enough to where a lot of times it almost feels like they're going through the motions. And that was one of the driving factors for why we created the perks system last year, is we wanted there to be this additional gameplay system in the game that had a lot of depth to it, that could change from match to match, that you would really need to be able to like track in order to be able to master the game. And sub-role passives is another system like that. It might not have the same level of impact, let's say, as perks, but it's designed sort of like with some of the same goals and values in mind. Yeah, I think it's one of the most like exciting sort of like esports style events that we do, or maybe that anybody does, you know, like, and it also like really fits in with the tone of the Overwatch universe. You know, when you start talking about collaboration and cooperation between heroes, you know, and then you see this big global tournament that's taking place in all these different countries, sending like the best of the best to do it. So I personally really love Overwatch World Cup, and I agree with you. I would love it if the World Cup this year was as exciting as last year, especially last year's finals. It was a pretty amazing experience. It's actually like, it's a pretty special moment going to BlizzCon. And the funny thing about it, to be honest here, like to be real, is as you're approaching BlizzCon, you kind of dread it because it's like so much work to put everything together. And then there's the moment where the doors open and all the fans come in and they're so excited to just see everything you're working on. You forget like the months of prep and stress that you put into it, and you just get to kind of like hang out with some of these people and talk about things that you're both interested in. They get to share like a lot of times just like the impact that our games have had on these people's lives, you know, and some of the stories are pretty incredible. People meeting their life partners in games. Yeah, doing proposals at BlizzCon sometimes. So it's like, it turns into like every year like this incredibly special moment, and we do get a lot of feedback from players there. We get a lot of feedback generally all over the place for the game. We have a whole community team that's constantly monitoring socials, from Reddit to TikTok to Twitter or X, and giving that feedback. We have a Discord where we're constantly communicating with different creators to just kind of like get feedback from them. We run surveys. We have in-game surveys, out-of-game surveys, and then we have, like, I don't know, scores of dashboards of the way that people play the game that we can look at. And so, like, for feedback for the game, we collect as much as we can from people in order to try to make improvements for the game. And I guess the last thing for that is, like, anytime we do a director's take, we sign it with, like, let's make a great game. And what that's supposed to mean is, like, we want to be making this game with our community, you know? We want to be open and transparent about what we're doing, but we want the game, like, this game is supposed to evolve, right? It's supposed to change going forward. And we're in a partnership with our players in order to enact that change. We want it to be the very best game for them going forward, and it starts with us listening to what they have to say and watching how they play. It's probably a better question for some of the people on the tech side, but there was definitely a lift for us on our side in order to get the full version working. We've definitely done changes to the build so it would run faster on a Switch DOS than it does, you know, normally. But it took us a little while to get everything put together, and also, like, we had a lot of the team, like, pushing really, really hard to get Season 1 out the door. Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, Lucio is probably one of the easiest ones in there to match to a Sanrio character. I think that, like, every time we go through a collab, this is, like, a big question. It's like, how do we match up characters from a different universe to characters in our universe? And I think there's, like, several different factors there. Some of them are just whether it matches well, you know? And I think that that's something like Lucio with the Sanrio collab, or even like Doomfist with the One Punch Man collab, you know? It's like, how do you not do the guy that punches in the game, you know, as Saitama? Like, you just kind of have to. There are other elements here too, to where it's like, there are heroes that are more popular, you know, and there are heroes that we know are going to land better. And when you do start getting into doing a collab, they're not free for us to make, and so there definitely needs to be a certain business expectation that we meet. So it is a mix of, like, how do we ensure that this collab is successful? How do we get heroes out there that we think our players are really going to love? And then what's the best fit for characters that are like in that universe with characters that are in ours? Okay, so we have an internal process, but anything you do in a game is creative, right? And so, like, everything we do, you kind of wake up one day and go, like, wouldn't it be cool if? Wouldn't it be cool if we made a flying cat, you know? Or wouldn't it be cool if we made this map, you know, like set in Venice, you know, our Rialto map? And it's just like, this is sort of what drives game developers. It's the same way with our collabs. We are fans of these different universes. Like, we're a team of geeks, you know? And so, like, you wake up and you go, like, God, when can we get this particular universe into Overwatch? And if you poll people on the team, there are so many other ones that they are just dying to get in, and they'll campaign for it. They will come to, like, Dion, our art director, and be like, okay, is this the time that we can do this thing, because they just really want to see it. So, like, I think that's what drives us. But yes, we have a process. We'll run surveys. We want to make sure that the collabs we put out that they're going to do well for us, and that players are going to love them. We need to work back and forth with partners and find partners that are, like, passionate about their universes as we are with ours. But at the end of the day, it all starts with, wouldn't it be cool if, wow, a crazy feature for one day. So this is gonna have to be something that maybe players don't miss a lot if it's gone afterwards. Yeah, I think, I'm trying to find like a really good answer for this. I think it would be like, this isn't gonna be the best answer. But I'm like really invested in the world of Overwatch and the story of Overwatch, you know? And so I think if there was a way that people could jump into the game and sort of like watch a backstory movie on every one of the heroes we have, it would be really, really cool. I'd hate to see that go away after one day though. There's a lot to this season. And I think this is gonna depend on the player that you're talking about, but some players are really driven by new content, you know? And I think that the heroes, the 5 heroes that we have for this season, that's gonna be the most exciting part for those players. You also have like a lot of players that are really just driven by mastery, you know? And they want to be able to like show their skill in game. And so this year we have a brand new competitive weapon that we've launched that you can earn as the 2026 competitive weapon. Is this really cool Talon themed weapon. So I think for some of those players, it's going to be like, hey, here's the competitive reset. Start working on like moving up that ladder board. Hopefully you can place on the challenger, like top 500 tiers if you're like one of the best, and start working towards something like that. But I think the thing this year that we're doing that's totally different than we've done before is really putting story in the game. And we're doing it through the cinematic that we just launched, movies and motion comics and short stories that we're going to be releasing every season. And all of those are going to go into the narrative viewer in game. And as soon as they're released, you're going to be able to go there and watch it and follow along this story over the course of the year. So, and I know not everybody is driven by story, but I do think that this is like a new commitment from the team. So like there is a player type out there now that like, hey, maybe this is enough to where they can feel connected to this world that we're building and all the like crazy, amazing characters that inhabit it. And maybe that's enough to get them to jump into the game and fall in love with their new favorite hero because of it. So I think it's, when we put plans together for this, we have a really amazing team, an amazing leadership team, and amazing leads all across Overwatch. It's like, it's humbling to work on this team every day. And the job for us was to sell everybody on how big this season was going to be, because it's way bigger than something that we've done before. And like really one of the biggest steps of that process was for the different leads across the team and our production department to break all of this down and figure out how it was that we were going to be able to build it. And once they were able to do that, then you can communicate that to the team and start getting buy-in, because you do need that. You need buy-in from all of these like tremendously creative people that have such high impact on what we're developing in order for them to be able to like come along for the ride. So I think that was probably the toughest part, was really putting together a super concrete plan that we had to execute on almost perfectly over the course of this year in order for the team to buy in that it was possible. Yeah, I think that that this isn't just about season 1. You know, I think season 1 is super exciting, right? There is a lot coming, but really this is setting up, I think, our biggest year that we've ever had. Like every season we're going to have a new hero. Every season we're going to be driving the story forward. There's going to be new maps and hero reworks and map reworks and new game systems coming over the course of this year. And so like, I think what I would like people to try to wrap their heads around is that it's the most ambitious launch inside of the most ambitious year that we've ever had for this game. And so like, if there is ever a moment to sit up and pay attention to Overwatch, or to give it a second try or try it for the first time, now is that moment. There's like one other tiny thing.
Okay.
So this is small, but like ages ago when we were developing the game, like one of the maps in there is Dorado, right? It takes place in Mexico.
Yeah.
And there was a moment where we showed a concept image for Dorado, or like a reference image, and it was a town in Italy. And there was a lot of people in Mexico that rightfully said, like, how are you doing? Like this doesn't represent us at all. And I just kind of want to say, to just like correct the past a little bit, that like the biggest source of inspiration for Dorado was a city called Guanajuato. And we have so many images of that city collected with all of the colorful buildings and the church in the middle of it, and all of the vistas and overlooks that you'd get from it. So like, I know it probably doesn't matter anymore, but it's been eating away at me for like the last 6 or 7 years, and I just had to set the record straight. Yes.